Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We were discussing this verse here. حتى وهو الذي يرسل الرياح بشرا بين يدي رحمته. That Allah Ta'ala sends the wind as a glad tidings. Allah Ta'ala sends the wind as a glad tidings before the rains come. And then we speak about حتى إذا what is it? أقلت سحابا ثقالا, about the heavy clouds. And I was telling you, it is not every cloud. It is not every cloud that carries rain. You get different types of clouds. So here, Allah Ta'ala is speaking about the cloud that carries the rain. Just find here. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Up to this point, the description in the quoted verses proves the following: that the rain comes through clouds, as commonly observed. So we know that rain comes through the clouds. Imagine 1450 years ago, Allah Ta'ala spoke that on the tongue of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that the rain comes through clouds, as commonly observed. This tells us that verses which rain coming from the skies has been mentioned. They too, the word sama refers to clouds. So certain verses in the Quran, it speaks about the rain coming from the sama, from the sky. So this is like what we done, where you mentioned the place, you mentioned the zarf, but you intend the mazroof. You mentioned the place, but you intend what is in the place. Like you say, maybe there's few people in this room. I want this whole room to come here. So do you mean the actual room must come to you? No, the people in the room. So like where Allah says that the rain comes from the sama, comes from the sky. That means that it comes from the clouds in the sky. And also like another one comes, and in the sky is your rizq. Now we know that everything that is grown on the earth, it needs rain. And the rain comes from the clouds. So it means your rizq comes from the clouds. It comes from the clouds, which are in the sky. There's another example of where you mentioned the place, but you intend what is in that place. In the Baraha, you done this. You mentioned the zarf, but you intend the mazroof. So this tells us that verses in which raining from the skies, we mentioned there too, the word sama refers to clouds. Then not improbable is the likelihood that clouds originate directly from the skies, as opposed to monsoons originating from the waters and bring rains. The clouds go in a particular direction, over a particular land, is something related directly to divine command. It is He who gives a command for rain to fall when He wills, where He wills, as much as He wills. The clouds implement the divine command. Okay, so what is saying? That rains come through clouds is commonly observed. This tells us that verses in which the rain from the sky has been mentioned, there too the word sama refers to clouds. The not improbable is the likelihood that clouds originate directly from the skies, as opposed to monsoons originating from the waters and bringing rains. So what I'm saying is, Allah Ta'ala says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُرْسِلُ. He is the one who sent the clouds. This shows you that the clouds are directly under the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes you see that the weather predicts that there's going to be so much rain and there's no rain. Sometimes now they check with their satellites and all that type of thing. Sometimes you see, on the contrary, no rain is predicted, but all of a sudden the rain comes. Sometimes the weatherman, the NP, they got in the newspaper, a weatherman is called the weather guru. He says, no rain for the next few months. We're in for a long haul, but all of a sudden the rain comes. So Allah Ta'ala is teaching us that, look, this is in Allah Ta'ala's control. This is in Allah Ta'ala's command. Nobody makes a decision with regard to these things except Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. He will send the rain. He will send where and when He wants to send the rain, and to who He wants to send the rain. In the Bashis, there is one story, one hadith, that once a person, he was working on his farm and he heard a cloud being instructed that go to certain person's farm. So he followed the cloud, and the cloud went to a certain person's farm, and he sufficiently irrigated that person's land. And he was over impressed with this. Sometimes Allah Ta'ala open up things from the unseen also, so that we can learn. Allah Ta'ala opens things from the unseen so that we can learn. So he was over impressed. So he asked this person, tell me now, what is your special action that you do? That, so he initially was reluctant, but he insisted. He says, whatever produce I get from the land, 1/3 I give to my family within this. 1/3 I use it to reharvest, and 1/3 I give it in charity. So this is a nice recipe. You see, a lot of people also they have this policy in their businesses. What they do, 1/3 we will consume, we'll use it up. 1/3 we will reinvest it, whatever, for the next year, and 1/3 we will give it in charity. So I just mentioned that story to show you that the clouds, etc., are in the control of Allah Ta'ala. It is something observed everywhere. There are occasions when a town or habitation would have heavy overhead clouds and they would very much be in need of rains, but the clouds would not let them even have a drop of water. So sometimes you see the clouds are heavily laden. What is verse of Quran? That's in 14 para. Lawaqih, I think it's the word. Wanzalla min as-samai lawaqih. Clouds that are heavily laden. Lawaqih means they are pregnant with water, but nothing comes. Or the rains come and the wind comes and takes it away, right? So instead, it go to a town of which there is a quota of water as divinely determined, and it would be only there that you drain, not anywhere else. No one has the ability or the choice to acquire water from these clouds or at any other place other than the town habitation earmarked to have it. Whether scientists have determined the rules about the movement of monsoons based on which they can tell the cause of monsoon rising from the waters of the sea and identify where and how much it rain. There are meteorological bureaus set up for this purpose in many countries, but experience shows that news released by these departments frequently turn out to be contrary to fact. When that is contrary to divine command itself, the rules become effective. Winds and rain-laden clouds turn towards somewhere else, contrary to foretold news, and weather experts cannot do much about it. So many times I told you, all the signs are it's going to rain, but you see the rain go away. All the signs it's not going to rain. All the signs are there. We are in for a dry summer. We are in for a dry winter, but all of a sudden the rains come. So what we're saying, that these things don't play by the rules of weather. It don't play by the rules of what the satellite image says, but it plays by the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In addition to that, any other rules and regulations proposed by meteorologists, they too are not contrary to the prohibition that the movement of clouds obeys the command, the divine command, because it is customary practice of Allah Ta'ala in all affairs of this world. The divine command manifests itself from behind the curtains of physical causes. Human beings pick up these very causes and formulate some rules or regulation based upon them. Otherwise, reality lies somewhere. So what he's saying in here, this is interesting, that yes, Allah Ta'ala has made the dunya like this, like I told you, He's put the effect of cutting in the knife, He's put the effect of burning in the fire, He's put the effect of drowning in the water. Like that, Allah Ta'ala has made things that happens with cause and effect. You can see the signs, you can see the clouds are coming, in winter it will rain. So there is a system by which we can determine what is going to happen. But many a times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes things happen contrary to that system. Why? To show you that Allah ta'ala is ultimately in charge. Like I told you, Allah ta'ala has made it that the knife must cut. But the knife did not cut as Ismail salam. So Allah ta'ala will show you that yes, I am the one that controls that ability to cut. Allah ta'ala has made the what you call it, the fire to burn. Generally it burns, Allah Ta'ala allows it to carry on with its work of burning, but sometimes Allah Ta'ala takes that ability away. When Ibrahim alayhi salam was in the fire, قُلْ يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى Ibrahim. That the fire must be cool. So Allah Ta'ala takes that ability away. So why Allah Ta'ala does that? So yes, there are signs. Most of the time, things work out according to the signs that is shown, but many a times Allah Ta'ala snatched that ability away to show you that He is in control. How many times don't you see that the doctor says this person got Allah Ta'ala protect us, this illness, this, and he's got so many days to live, and then that person lives several years after that, etc. Many times the person go to the doctor says, you are as fit as a horse. You are as fit as a horse. Your heart is in good condition. You got no pressure. You got nothing. But you walk out of there, you drop down dead. So Allah Ta'ala does that to show you, look, yes, we have a system. Sunnat Allah. There is a sunnat Allah. Allah Ta'ala allows things to happen according to cause and effect. But many times Allah Ta'ala take that system away to show you. And this is what we call this khariqun anil ada. We discussed this before, right? So after was said, فَأَنزَلْنَا بِهِ الْمَاءَ فَأَخْرَجْنَا بِهِ مِنْ كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ. We pour down water, then we bring forth all the fruits. So the water comes. So that's why I was telling you that when we say that in the sky is your risk, what it means is that your risk comes from the clouds in the sky, from which comes the water, from which everything grows. And then at the end of the verse, he said, كَذَلِكَ نُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَى لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. So this is how we give life to the dead, so that you may take lesson. This is how we bring forth all the dead on the day of Qiyamah, so that you may observe advice. That's the sense of the verse. The way we have given new life to the dead land and brought out from its trees, flowers, fruits, vegetables. Similarly, on the day of Qiyamah, we shall have the dead rise once again after they have been dead. And these examples have been set forth so that you would have the opportunity to reflect and deliberate. So see, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَذَكَّرُونَ, so that you may take lesson, you may remember, you may jolt your memory. So this shows us here that Allah Ta'ala is saying that look, a dead land, a barren land, how we can give it life. Beautiful flowers can grow from the barren land. You know, in South Africa, in the Northern Cape, you go from Cape Town and you travel north there, they call it Namakwa land. What call it? Namakwa land. They say after spring rains, you have the most beautiful display of flowers. After the barren winter, sometimes when it's heavy rains, you get certain type of flowers that grows after 30 years, 40 years. So people especially go from all over the country. They go from Joburg, they go from Durban, just to see those flowers. That's in the spring rains. So probably maybe it's finished now already. So barren land that turns into carpets and carpets of fields and fields of beautiful flowers of different colors. As I said, people come from all over the world, and there are special hotels and restaurants to accommodate from all these people coming to see this. Allah Ta'ala, the miracle of Allah Ta'ala. كَذَلِكَ نُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَى. So it was a whole winter, it was barren land, it was dead land, it was nothing. But when the rains come, all these flowers come. So when you see this, you say, كَذَلِكَ نُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَى لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Otherwise, يُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيْتِ وَمُخْرِجُ الْمَيْتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. He's the one who takes the living out of the dead, and he take the living out of the dead, and he take the dead out of the living. So ulama also say, like, if you look at the egg, the egg that is dead, but a living thing comes out of there, a chicken comes out from there. So according to a narration of Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the surah will be blown twice on the day of Qiyamah. On the first blowing of the surah, the whole world will perish. فَإِذَا نُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَلَا أَنْسَابَ بَيْنَهُمْ. Right? The whole world, nothing will remain. On the second surah, a new world will come into being. The dead will come to life. The hadith also mentions an interval of 40 years between the two blowings of the surah, and the rains will continue to fall throughout these 40 years. During this period, the body parts of every dead human being and animal will become assembled into them, giving everyone a complete skeleton. Then at the time of the blowing of the second surah, all these, the roofs will enter these corpses. They will arise alive. A major portion of the narration can be seen in Bukhari and Muslim. Some portions have been taken from Kitabul Bahth of Abu Dawud. Interesting. So see what I said here. We said we were discussing, mashallah, alhamdulillah, we're discussing now this fits in with our Mishkat Sharif. You know that when there's nobody to say Allah, Allah on the world anymore, then what will happen? The trumpet will be blown. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he went to Mi'raj, he saw Hazrat Israfil with the trumpet in his mouth already. He's just waiting for the instruction. He's waiting for the instruction to blow the surah. Imagine if we knew that this Israfil is just busy waiting. He's waiting for the instruction. He's already pouting his lips. He's waiting for the surah. How can we then be heedless of our akhirat? But nevertheless, interestingly, why he says that when that is blown, then for a period of 40 years, the rains will fall. There will be no living thing, but the bodies will be reconstructed. It will be re-resurrected. In other words, that's why the ulama, there's a hadith in Bukhari Sharif is mentioned that on Qiyamah Day, you will come back naked and uncircumcised. So whatever part of your body or whatever limbs you lost in the dunya, on Qiyamah Day, you will get it back. So if you lost an arm, maybe you removed a limb from your body or an organ from your body, all of that you will get it back on Qiyamah Day. So here it's saying, so the relevance of this is, so like how Allah Ta'ala gives life to the dead over the period of 40 years with these rains, these beneficial rains, will be falling. That is the time that the bodies will be physically reconstructed by the end of the 40 days. And that's also the time when Allah says, "Limanil mulkul yawm, lillahi al-wahid al-qahar." We are the kings. We are the people who said, "This is my house." We are the people that said, "This is my car." We are the people that said, "This is my wife." We are the people that said, "This is my children." We are the people that said, "This is my building." They're all lying in the grave. And there's only one king, there's only one authority. There's nobody even to say, "My wife, my car, my house." Limanil mulkul yawm. Who is the kingdom? Lillahi al-wahid al-qahar. For the most powerful, right? One powerful person. So then when the surah is blown for the second time, then the ruh will be infused into those reconstructed bodies, and that is when Qiyamah will take place. Okay, we stop there, inshallah. We'll continue tomorrow. Same link for the Mishkat, ne?